Thanks everybody for coming to Mintbean, and thanks to everyone who came in for the JavaScript Bootcamp Olympics. What a phenomenal weekend, right? I mean, we had the co-founder of GitHub come in and have a conversation on Saturday with us. We're going to be putting that video up with Tom Preston Werner. He's also the person who's behind Redwood, and with Rob Cameron, who's another core contributor on the Redwood team. We had Blitz.js over on Friday. We had Brandon from Blitz.js presenting on Friday. And explaining how to work with Blitz. We had Chris Ball from Bison, which is another full stack Jamstack framework, coming in on Friday, and it was just fantastic. And I can't believe how many people showed up. I've seen all the projects; they're such amazing projects. And we can't wait to dive into the judging and to announce the winners. Just so extremely proud of everything that everybody did. It's going to be really tough to find to figure out who won, because it's just the quality of projects that came out this time is just phenomenal, and it just goes to show how great boot camps are at training developers up and teaching them how to code properly in such a short amount of time. And don't forget to share your work on LinkedIn. There are social media templates on the challenge document. Jen will post them over here as well inside the events tab. So don't forget to share on LinkedIn, because the phenomenal work that you guys have done, it needs to be seen by recruiters and by employers. So don't forget to post that. We have a Best Marketing Award, which is a little different this time. So depending on how well you promote your social media project, the more likes and shares you have, the more likely it is that you'll win that award. So that's going to be announced later on. So the more you share, the more you like. The people who market it, not just the most quantity, but also the best quality. The people who market their own projects in the best way are going to get a Best Marketing Award, in addition to the Best Project Award, which is a separate category. So for the Bootcamp Olympics, thank you, Peter, Frank, Zach, and Kyle, for being code mentors. I saw some of you guys. Peter, I saw you were like there so late last night. Frank, I saw you there as well so much, and we really appreciate you spending your time and helping out. It's really awesome of you guys, so thank you. Joel and Zach, thank you for being code mentors for the TailwindCSS challenge. It's going to be a fun one, and we're really lucky to have you guys over here today. Last bookkeeping stuff. If you did the JavaScript Bootcamp Olympics, big thank you to FeaturePeek, who are our sponsors. FeaturePeek, as you guys know, they've created a deployment platform that's really easy for developers to use and deploy on. The ones who use FeaturePeek probably know how easy it is. And there's a survey out there that it's a way for us to thank our sponsors for helping us make this JavaScript Bootcamp Olympics happen. It helps them improve their product. So it's kind of tit for tat. You're giving back to our sponsors so that they can keep sponsoring us, so that we can give you guys better and better events. So don't forget to take that survey. Even if you did not do your project on FeaturePeek, take the survey and see if there are any sections that can help them out. Any feedback that they can get is going to be really helpful for them. So yeah, lots of love going to FeaturePeek. Thank you guys. You guys made this happen. So thank you. Winner from last hackathon, we had the Svelte.js hackathon last week, and Chris Oni created a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire clone called Who Wants to Be a Platinum Rank Adventurer, which was pretty cool. You can check that out. He built that in Svelte.js. That was last week. And that's everything as far as last week goes. So that's I have this thing I'm kind of going through, and I just hope I didn't miss anything. I think I got everything, but now I can finally talk about today's hackathon. And that's what most of you guys are here for. If you just finished the Olympic hackathon, you can continue with this hackathon if you wish. So you don't need to register again. All you have to do is just submit your project on Wednesday, which is when this hackathon is going to be ending. So the way these hackathons are set up is when one ends, the next one begins. So if you have what a lot of people have, and you're kind of paralyzed because you don't know what to build, then this series of hackathons can help you build a lot of projects. 3 projects a week is what we're 2.5 is what we're kind of averaging at. And they're all 3-day long hackathons now. So just stick around, and you can build more and more projects by sticking around for these. So let's talk about the hackathon. So I gotta explain Tailwind CSS. There's a workshop starting in 15 minutes. I'll actually be going over the Mintbean website, which is built with Tailwind, and I'll be going through it, and I'll be showing you guys how we're using Tailwind. You'll be seeing Vue.js mixed in there along with Pug. So you're going to see a lot of different technologies, not just Tailwind, just by looking at that code. And I'll be walking through it and explaining how we're using Tailwind to create components and what we've done in order to customize Tailwind for our needs. So I'll be going over that in about 15 minutes. But first, I'll start going through the challenge doc. Yeah, let's go over the hackathon document. If you don't have it, challenge release is here, and Jen dropped it too. Hey, Sydney, Andrew, Jay, Harsh is not here. Chris, Eric, everybody, awesome. So let me go through the challenge doc. It'll blow your mind because it's Tailwind, get it? So in a nutshell, and there's a lot here that it'll help you get the maximum juice out of this hackathon. Just make sure you're in Discord, and that helps a lot. Hopin is only for today, and then Hopin's going to shut down, and we're going to be doing everything on Discord over the next couple of days. So how this whole crazy system works is you build a project out in 3 days. We give you most of the requirements now, and you just work off those requirements. You build it out, and the best person wins. This is a solo hackathon today, so everybody's going to be submitting their project solo. Tailwind is a CSS design. You know what? I need to share my screen for the workshop, and I feel like Tailwind is just really difficult to explain on just by talking about it, because you really have to see it to understand it. And I have this whole project that I wanted to go through with you guys. And here's, okay. So it's a 3-part challenge, and the first part is going to be creating a component system, so building the design system itself. Part 2 is going to be documenting your components, and part 3 is going to be landing page, and 4-part challenge. Part 4 is going to be a social media promotion section. So what do I mean by that? So part 1 is building the design system. You're going to be building, you're going to be creating a look and feel for what you're going to be building after. You're going to be using Tailwind in order to create a design language. Tailwind CSS itself is not a full component system the way Bootstrap is. It's not a full component system the way Material is. Instead, what it does is it takes CSS and it does some really sensible things, and it makes it really easy for you to manipulate CSS without actually writing CSS code. And it's very, very powerful. And it's meant to be a building block for a component system. Okay, it's not meant to be used. You can use it just by itself, but it's actually meant to be used as the building blocks of a component system. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come up with the first initial design of your component system. So what colors you're going to use inside your site, what typography you're going to use inside your site, what spacing system. Make sure you take a look at this little article at the end of the spacing section over here. Kind of blew my mind when I learned what a vertical rhythm is. And then if you have any design skills, or if you find some assets online for free, or whatever, you can add images and photos into your design system as well, so that you can express whatever it is that you want to express through that. Now, once you know generally what colors you're going to be using, what fonts you're going to be using, etc., you can then move on and create and document your UX UI components. So this is, you're actually going to be creating your UX UI components, and you're going to be creating a separate page that lists all of these components one by one and explains them and explains how you're going to use them. The main part is you want those components to be visually there with a little bit of explanation to explain what this page is. But basically, build a header, a footer using Tailwind, create an anchor tag or link element using Tailwind, use buttons using Tailwind, cards. Plain text styling as well can be done by wrapping it inside a component, inside Tailwind, images, lists, sections. All of this is what you're going to be designing using Tailwind. And you're going to be putting it into almost like a kitchen sink, a design kitchen sink is what it's sometimes called. There are a few other elements which are nice to have. Some of these are pretty hard, but these are nice to have as well, but none of them are mandatory. So after you've created your UX UI components, you're going to create a landing page. And this section, we got a lot of feedback about this from different companies and different people in our network who have employed developers. And what we found is that having a simple landing page completely multiplies the perceived value of your work. So personal projects without landing pages are basically invisible to employers. And personal projects that don't get linked to from social media are also rarely seen by recruiters and employers. So that landing page is going to be a place where it's going to explain to you what your project is all about. It's going to explain to readers what the project is all about. And I have a simple layout for this part, for the landing page part. You want a home page. That's part one. You want a section that documents your components, your kitchen sink. And very quickly, this is for material. This is what a kitchen sink looks like. So here's somebody's calendar. This is material design's calendar element. You don't need to make it this fancy. This is obviously extremely fancy, but it explains what each element does. And here's a button that's actually a live button. And here are different variants of the button. And there's a leading icon that you can put on the button. So that's really nice and interactive. You don't have to make it interactive, but this is basically what I'm talking about as a kitchen sink. Is you give examples of your components. Bootstrap is really nice too. In Bootstrap's component section, they actually give you examples. I don't know why I'm on Bootstrap 2, but I'm on Bootstrap 2, but they give you actually examples and snippets of code for each and every component. So that's super useful. So that's what I mean by a kitchen sink. So have a kitchen sink. So that's the section that documents all your components. And 3 different sample pages with different layouts that use your design system that you previously created. So have one that's one page, standard sales layout, another one that has a hero banner, a third one maybe that has a table or has a 2-column layout. But essentially just different layouts using your design system. So that, and the content, I recommend you write actual content, but it can also be just lorem ipsum. So that's going to be really helpful. And then links back to your project on Mintbean so that people can get to your source code. And it kind of gives us props as well. But essentially, just we have a few requirements over here that you want to take a look at. And then part 4, which can be done last minute, it's not a big deal. LinkedIn and Twitter are great places. Recruiters hang out over there. You want to be there if you want to get hired. So there's going to be an award for best social media promotions as well. That's taking both quality and quantity into account. So you want to promote your work on social media, and you want to paste your posts and tweets inside the Discord server after you've made those posts, linking back to your beautiful website with all of the different examples. You want to promote that on LinkedIn. Post your posts and tweets in Discord so that other people can like it and you get that visibility boost that you need. The more likes you get, the more the algorithm kind of promotes it on both Twitter and LinkedIn. We have LinkedIn templates that you can use as well, and you can use that. That's inside the challenge doc. The only restraint or the only constraint here is there should be no backend or serverless components. This is just to make sure that it's fair for everybody and we're all on even playing ground. So everything else is pretty much straightforward. I think I can jump into I think I can jump into the actual workshop now. So that's pretty much it for the challenge document. Code mentors, did I leave anything out? Do you feel like I could have done a better job explaining any of that? Did I miss anything?
For my end, I think it's okay. I just want a quick question about part one.
Mhm.
What's the difference between step one and step three?
Good question.
So, yeah.
So the first part is the first part is building a design language. So you're not actually necessarily coding. You're you're basically in your head, maybe, this can be done just in 5 minutes in your head if you want. In step one, or you can document it and you can put it up on your 3-page. But step one is you're coming up with the design and you're deciding ahead of time what colors you're going to use, what typography, what fonts you're going to use in your design system, in your component library. And you're coming up with that. You're planning ahead. So that's what step one is. Step three is landing page, and that's when you've already created a basic design component system, and now you're using that design component system to quickly put together several different pages to explain what to show off the power of your design system. I fully expect people, by the time they get to part three, they want to change something, they want to go back and modify something. I fully expect that. So it's not like it's it's not like once you get to part three you can't go back. But part one is really just planning ahead and making sure that you know what you want out of this.
All right, cool. Thank you.
There is a design systems, I think it's called Designs Repo. I'll look it up. Designsrepo.com has a big list of tons of design systems. So if you want some examples of more, I'd recommend go checking those out. There's tons of them there, from governments to independent projects. And those are all different examples of design systems to get some more ideas of how to do that and what might look like.
Nice. I've linked to that. So Harsh asked a good question. Tailwind looks like not that one. He said, step one is wireframes then. And I just want to clarify that step one is not a wireframing exercise. It's more simple than wireframing. You're just picking the colors you want. You're deciding exactly what colors you want, exactly what fonts you're going to be using. Ashron asked, can we have logic in our project? Yeah, absolutely. If you're using JavaScript, if you're using React, for example, then you can have, when you click on a button, it changes its style using JavaScript or it changes state. Yeah, absolutely. You can have logic in your project. Harsh asked, does it have to be responsive? Does it have to be mobile first? I highly recommend it. It's not that hard to do mobile first with Tailwind. So I think Tailwind is actually mobile first. So why not take advantage of that? I think you should definitely take advantage of it. And great.